Welcome, one and all. Uh, this show is a podcast that I decided to make on my own. It's called Have Jokes and Full Truth, where we laugh to keep from screaming, but we mean every damn word of it. As you can see, I'm alone, but I do have a co-host. He's incognito right now, but he will be joining the show in the next few episodes or so. Maybe three, maybe four or five. I'm not sure. But when he gets here, we'll co host the show together. It won't just be me. But to kind of get things started, I'll tell you a little bit about what to kind of expect from the show. There are a lot of podcasters out there who do podcasts, and they do 45 minutes on the DT administration. I'm not going to do that because if you want 45 minutes of that, you can find that anywhere. It's tons of them on YouTube. A lot of people that I myself like, but yeah, they're out there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. I'm also gonna give a little bit about Black history because we need that in this day and age, considering that they're trying to erase Black history, which is crazy. But you know, those who write history, they tell history. So we'll do a little bit of that. I'll probably have a rant or so. Uh, Matter of fact, I think I got it listed down here of exactly what all uh, my segments are. Uh, Black History Lesson, Absurd Politics of the Week, which you can get absurd politics every day. Uh, Billionaires and the Bullshit of the Week, the wildest headlines of the day, the scam of the day, uh, my rants of the day, quote of the day. So, oh, and then definitely we're gonna spotlight uh, somebody in the community of Black race. But on this show, we're gonna call everybody equal. We're gonna make everybody equal. America loves putting labels on everything. If you notice, America always labels anybody in this country whatever their origin country is, and then Americans. So African Americans, Mexican Americans, Asian Americans. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna call white folks European Americans because you're not original to this country. And the thing is, they even call the native people of this country Native Americans. So yeah, America loves labels. So if we're gonna label, we're gonna label everyone, and we're gonna call everyone African Americans, Asian Americans, and European Americans. So that's one of the things. That could have been a rant, but that's just one of the things that I feel. Let's see. I guess we'll start with the political circus. I mean, it's always something crazy that's always going on. One of my things was uh, when Donald Trump. I'm not gonna do his whole name, so I'm just gonna call him DT. DT said that Jesus should have came down and counted the ballots in California, and if Jesus had done so, then the world would have seen that he won. And my thing is, you know, imagine Jesus coming down and talking to DT, and he would be like, I died for your sins, not to recount ballots. If you want to start with recounting something, let's recount all of your convictions, your 34 convictions. Let's recount those. If you want to recount something, let's recount that. You know, I mean, only in America can you have somebody in a political arena to say that they would want Jesus to come down and count votes. It's crazy, but that's the world we live in. And, you know, welcome to the United Mess of America. That's what this is. It's crazy, but, you know, that's the world we live in. Uh, Something else that kind of got my attention during the week was the fact that the U.S. was supposed to be in negotiations with Iran, and at the same time you're having negotiations, you start bombing Iran. Who does that? That's kind of like, you know, the frat boy at a frat party, and everybody knows that this is a guy that causes trouble, that starts trouble. So now he's drunk and then acting weird, and everybody's like, "Hey, bro, you know what's going on? Are you all right?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then he flips the table over. That's kind of what that's like. It's crazy. Let's see. The billionaires and their bullshit. That's some. I mean, we could go on and on and on. So one of the things that Jeff Bezos did this week, he bought a yacht, a huge yacht that probably has its own zip code, probably has stores in it. You know, I mean, this is what rich people do. The world is struggling, and they're out spending money on bullshit. I mean, how many yachts do you need? But the thing is, he said that doubling his taxes would not help a nurse in New York or a teacher in New York or something to that effect. Well, I say we call bullshit. Let's double your taxes and let's see what happens. Let's do it. Since you don't think it will affect anything, then what's the harm in doubling your taxes? But of course, you know, he won't do that. They'll never do that. All they want to do is spend money on bullshit, fly to the moon for free. Well, not for free, but fly to the moon, spending money on that. One of the things that I did want to talk about, and it's just a little bit of a history lesson. You know, people talk about Hitler and the Nazis and all the stuff that they did, but nobody ever talks about where he got his ideals at. Hitler didn't come up with the ideals to put the Jews in concentration camps and build ghettos and stuff and separate segregation, all of that. He didn't come up with it. Hitler admired America. He got the idea from America's Jim Crow. That's where he got the idea to do what he did to the Jews. And America acts like they're shocked when they see somebody else doing exactly what they were doing at the time. They were actually doing it at the time. And Hitler admired America. He admired that they separated the races like they did. And he definitely did. But a lot of people don't know that. Yes, Hitler took his ideals from America and the Jim Crow era. So this, with this being my first podcast, it's not going to be very long. It's only going to be, you know, a few minutes, 10 minutes or so. Uh, I kind of want to get the jitters out. Wanted to be in front of the camera. Wanted to at least get one episode going, so I can pick up on other episodes. One of my segments on my podcast is definitely about the Black Hero Spotlight. And one of the Black heroes that I've come across is a young man by the name of Julian Brown. I think he's in his early 20s or something. I can't really remember, but his name is Julian Brown. And this guy has been taking plastics and turning them into fuel, gasoline, I think they said kerosene jet fuel, uh, diesel. I think he's producing with plastic. He's recycling the plastic and he's turning it into fuel, which I don't know if any of you know, but most people know. I think, but you might not know. That's one of the things about this show that this is a layman's show, so there's not a lot of big words, and I don't have a PhD in politics, so but plastics are made out of petroleum. They're made out of petrol. So it only makes sense that you should be able to convert it back in some way. But you have these billion dollar companies who say that it's too hard. It's just too hard to do. We can't do it. The technology that it takes to be able to convert plastics back to petroleum is just it's it's just too hard. Now, Julian Brown is a regular guy. He did this in his garage. He went and bought things from Home Depot, got him some equipment and stuff, and this man is doing it in his garage. But yet and still, you got these billion-dollar companies that the government throws billions of dollars at to do whatever it is they do, because they definitely don't do anything to help us. But you got billion-dollar companies who say that it's impossible, it's too hard, it takes too much, and this man did it in his backyard. He's a self-taught genius. He taught himself how to do this. He practiced, he did it over time. And you think they're spotlighting him? Of course not. They'll never spotlight anything like that, especially when it comes from a brother, so they definitely won't spotlight that. I'm even surprised that it even made it to the headline that I found. And of course I researched it a little bit to make sure that, it was true and stuff. And it is. This young man actually is converting plastics, recycling plastics back into fuel, clean fuel too. It's actually a cleaner fuel. But of course, if you do something like that, you're taking money from the oil companies. It's so crazy that Mother Nature took oil and buried it deep in the ground, oil and coal, because it's a toxic substance. So Mother Nature takes it, puts it deep in the ground. Man comes along, digs it up, and thinks it's okay to burn. And then you wonder why the planet is in the state that it's in. This is why it's in the state that it's in, because of things like that. And then when we have the state that the world is in, that the country is in, and all of that, when you have this, instead of trying to actually fix the problem, you exacerbate it. Nobody's trying to find clean energy. And all the things that this administration has done since it's been back is ridiculous. It's crazy. But anyway, it's not about that. It's about Julian Brown, and this young man has has done something, and it is great. And definitely give him support. And Julian Brown, we salute you, brother. Here on Have Jokes and Full Truths. Keep doing what you do. Keep doing it. I mean, we need more people like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a black person. It can be anybody that, as long as, we're trying to make the world a better place, a cleaner place. I mean, I myself, I've only got probably maybe a good 20, maybe 30 years left if I'm lucky. So I won't be here much longer, but you got others that are coming behind us, and this planet, we're just destroying it. So, yeah. Once again, give it up for Julian Brown, the young man who's turning plastic into fuel, clean fuel. So, Let Oh my God, man. We gotta talk about RFK Jr. You know, this dude is crazy. Just the things that he goes through when he's being questioned by Republicans and Democrats. This dude, he's destroyed the CDC. You know, he's he's brought back a disease that we cured. Measles are back because of him. It's a disease that we cured, and it's back all because of this man. You know, if only his father could see him now. Jeez. But RFK is kind of like he's the dude that argue. He would be a dude that will argue with his social media, knowing that he's the only one that posts on it. But he would be arguing with it. He doesn't remember half the stuff he says. He talks and sounds like he's been smoking since he was 5. I mean, what? So, yeah, that dude. Yeah, that's enough on that dude. That dude is nuts. So, but anyway, this is my first podcast, and it will get better as I get better. Uh, I'm not one to really be in front of the camera like this. I'm a Gen Xer, and I've always enjoyed my privacy and never really did social media or anything. But I've gotten to the point where I'm I'm wanting something different from the podcasters that I see every day. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you got podcasters who talk about this administration for their whole podcast. And I don't think everybody wants to hear that. You know, all day, every day, this administration does something crazy every day. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely material. And I've watched a few podcasters come from 100,000 to 1 million viewers. Within a year of this administration. So it's definitely people watching it, and I mean, if that's what you enjoy, by all means, definitely go watch those cats. Uh, I'll tell you a few that I like. I like DL Hughley. I also like the iHip News ladies. They're great. Uh, Parker Get a Job. I like that young man. He's very intelligent, very knowledgeable. He's way more knowledgeable than I am. I don't really follow politics like that, but I'm like pretty much the rest of America. I see what I see on the news and stuff. I've never been really into politics like that, which is unfortunate because we all should know what's going on. And I remember I used to think that our votes didn't count, but obviously our votes do count. Otherwise, they wouldn't be gerrymandering and doing all the things that they're doing to gain extra seats come midterm. So definitely the votes count. So get out and vote when you have a chance. But as I was saying, this podcast will get better. I will get better. Uh, I will have a co-host, so hopefully that'll make things a little more interesting. I'll be able to bounce some things off of him. And his name is Alan. I don't know if I told you all that, but his name is Alan. So yeah, definitely, we look forward to seeing Alan when he gets here. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna call it, and I think this is gonna be the end of episode 1. Uh, I actually didn't follow my routine like I should have, but I covered the basics of what I wanted to talk about. And as I said, I'll get better. The podcast will get better, and I definitely appreciate your all's time and joining me. Definitely, and we'll see you on the next episode. Again, this is Mr. J with Half Jokes and Full Truths. where we laugh to keep from screaming, but we mean every damn word of what we say. Be good, y'all.